A new season of RaceSpotTV Prime Time is about to kick off, and with it, we go to a new series and a new track. This is the Leo Bodnar Electronics ProtoGT Championship, and we're at Imola, the newest track on the iRacing service. So here we are. You guys voted for it, and that means for the next 12 weeks, this is a series we are going to broadcast. Wednesday night, ProtoGT is on the air after these messages. Welcome to Milan. Welcome to... It's not Milan. We'll start that again. Welcome to Imola. Welcome to the first round of a Leo Bodnar ProtoGT here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacingLive. You, the iRacing and sim racing community, voted for what we are going to broadcast for the next 12 weeks here on RaceSpot and on iRacingLive, and you chose three fantastic series. On Wednesday night, it's going to be ProtoGT. It's the Leo Bodnar ProtoGT Championship. Then on Friday night, it will be the iRacing Verizon IndyCar Series. But the vote was so close that we also had to add another race sim. And we've got Sunday Formula Renault's 2.0 as well. Will Vincent here, along with Rachel Whiteford and Corinne Maddock, as we are at Imola. We are racing here today with track temps of about 80 degrees, air temps of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got ourselves relative humidity of 53%. There's a bit of a breeze in the air, 9 kilometers an hour, but the skies are clear, and that is all that matters. This track is, well, we call it about 4.8 kilometers, just over a tick over 3 miles in length. It's a little bit different to what most people remember back when you used to run in Grand Prix competition here. As you see, after Ivata, it's flat out towards the start-finish line. Qualifying is underway. There's 3 minutes left of qualifying. And Rachel, well, this Imola track is fast, especially ever since they made these alterations, really missing out the Variante Bassa at the end of the lap.
Yeah, good evening, Will. It certainly is an exciting lap around Imola here, of course. Lots of elevation changes, a big challenge for the drivers. And some really fast chicanes to start the lap off, of course. Then you climb up the hill after that hairpin, and you've got a very, very tight chicane with really aggressive bumps on that. That's going to be tricky for our drivers here. Not a great passing spot for the prototypes, but to make it exciting, of course, to run down, round, and up the hill, climbing, diving. This track, so much history. Well, we're going to start history again here at iRacing and have the ProtoGT Series kicking off at its newest track.
Yeah, this track, of course, had tragedy in 1994 of Roman Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna, almost also including Rubens Barrichello. But this track also has been involved in its fair share of controversy. 1982. It was the race in the war between FISA and FOTA, And, well, essentially, we only had about 14, 15 cars on the grid, and it was the day that Goodyear Pironi decided to pass Gilles Villeneuve towards the end of the race. And, well, we all know what happened after that one. So then, the last couple of guys are qualifying as we speak. We've got a full packed house here. 37 drivers are running at this track that we call Imola. And Connery, qualifying here is important. It's a narrow track here, so that means qualifying has some importance for this race.
Yes, the track is quite narrow, as you say, and it makes it very, very tricky to pass here, and you're putting a lot on the line when you try and pass a move. Also, the race is relatively short for a endurance series. It's about 75 minutes, but yeah, qualify is incredibly important here.
Well, there you can see a look from our aerial coverage here today. And we're just having a look then. Most of the drivers have qualified, so we can show you your provisional grid for this event. And we'll see then that in terms of your prototype field, Maximilian Benike then, qualifying time 1 minute 32.412. Matt Ursel in the second place. Mark Usher in third. Mark Perez in P4. There you can see then a remainder of your prototype field up on your screen. We've got to do this quickly. So there we are. Get a note of your favourite driver. Don't worry, we're talking about them all the way through the race. Ricardo Castrolido then in your first GT division. Keiko Shube, you're entangling Dave Geelink there. It's a packed field. Tuano Lenioto down in P number 8. You see him moving through the field most likely. And then in terms of your final class here, well, we've got Sven Debo, we've got Seven Spiegler just moving up. Cone Kopperman down into third. Alexia Loma in fourth. Alataulo and Backman, keep an eye out on them on the rear of your field. Qualifying is done. That means it's time to think about the race here on RaceSpotTV, as we've not got 3 laps of this race remaining. We've got these guys lining themselves up on the grid as we speak. And there's a look then from our aerial coverage. Once again, brought to you by And One Design, the official graphics partner of RaceSpotTV. And if you want to try and figure out where they are, well, they're just on the exit of the Variante Alta. This is turn 11, turn number 12. We'll zoom in, and they can see just in the top of your picture is the Ravata curves. Turn number 13, turn 14, and turn number 15. So a short pace lap here today, and Rachel, getting a good start down into turn 2 will be critically important.
It certainly will, of course. This first flowing entry to the second corner, really, that's a really slow part. You've got the very fast turn 1. Turn 2, first chicane here at Imola. That's going to be tricky. Making sure you have the right spacing. Don't overexert yourself. Make sure you're there for the end of the race. It's a 75-minute race today. It means you have to be there at the end of 75 minutes. And if you lose it in the first corner, not going to help.
Indeed. Indeed. So, the guys now just putting themselves onto the starting grid. We'll probably see, Connery, the field spread out because it's such a fast first sector here. If you're in that first GT category, you do not want to be right on the coattails of the prototype field heading into that first chicane because it might be carnage.
Yeah, I think these guys want to thin out as well, Will, because as you say, it's a very narrow track, and you don't really want to be side by side with someone going through these first few turns because that has a potential for, you know, incidents and wrecks, and you don't want that early on in the race.
Well, there you can see a pole sitter in the number 3 machine. Proof that having a RaceSpotTV logo on your car makes you faster. Qualifying on pole position there, Maximilian Benike, second place alongside him. Well, you can see we'll get that grid up on your screen. We'll get that ticker running along the top of your screen in just one moment's time. But it's a number 25 machine there, Mert Ursel. He will be in second place. We just zoom in on that machine as they now take off behind the iRacing.com first safety car. Let's look on board then with Mert Ursel. It's actually interesting because he'll have the outside line into towards turn number 1, and he's got to really hold that line because that number 20 machine on Mark Usher will be looking to try and pounce into that first chicane here at Imola. Then we can turn our attention back to your prototype field, and you can see it is Keiko Shube in that number 2 machine. He has himself the point in that car, and we head on back a little bit further, and there you can see in terms of your GT2 battles, it is all about the yellow and black cars. But let's go then to the front of your field green flag in the air. Let's go racing for a new season here on RaceSpotTV. They're too wide as they come down in towards turn 1 for the first time in P2, in P3, in P number 4. They're going to make it through, and there we can see the field working themselves. No real incidentals now behind. We turn our attention to Geelink, as Geelink's currently working himself very closely there. We've got 2 wide in the Battlefield race leading class. Nothing really happening there. Now we go ourselves down into the GT2 division. We didn't get the big gaps, Rachel, but everyone is through the first chicane and now through Villeneuve for the first time. As we've got one car
they certainly
off.
are, Will. Yeah, we do have a car off. We'll find out who that is in just a second. We have that, Will?
Yeah, it's the number 9 machine. So we talked about this car already. It was Jürgen Frank in the number 9 machine. He started towards the front of that field, and JJ Nylander as well in the number 24 Glacier Racing machine. Out of the, well, I wouldn't say out of the event, but way down the field in the very early game. But Rachel, in terms of your prototype battle, Maximilian, he's got himself an 1/8 of a second advantage early on. That is exactly what he needs.
He does indeed. He's got to that the third chicane for the first time with the prototypes. Everyone getting through with no issues at all. Maximilian having a good gap here. This is what he needs to plan out his race early on, Will. He needs a good clean gap. Make sure he takes advantage of that. No really big straights here at Imola apart from the front straight, which of course has a couple of kinks, so not going to be a huge draft track here, and this will give him a good advantage, this gap.
In the battle in GT1, Jani Tankanen right now is 1.2 seconds behind Kay Katrib. Well, we know just how fast Katrib can actually be in this series, Connery, and he's putting out to an early advantage. It's always difficult being in this middle field, however, because of the fact that you've got not only to pass and slow the GT2 traffic, but you've also got to make yourself nice, shall we say, for the prototype traffic when they come past.
Yeah, you just got to be... I think patience is the name of the game here for this middle field, because you've got to manage that traffic. You've got traffic ahead that's going to be slow, and you've got traffic behind from the prototypes, which is going to be coming up at you at a rate of knots. But this front of this GT1 field is spreading out just a little bit here, Will.
It is indeed. They can see that the top 3 in each of your classes up on your screen as we speak. We turn our attention down into GT2, and you'll notice there that Alexia Loma, another 14 machine, he's been on the move in the early going of this event. He's working himself right now in that 3rd place. Well, Loma, we know, can be fantastic in this 4GT. In fact, Rachel, a lot of these Club Finland drivers, the Glacier Racing boys, they are world renowned for running in this 4GT. So this is home territory really for them right now.
Absolutely. We see a pink Ford GT or a blue one. It's probably going to be the Glacier Racing guys, and well, this is their native environment, the Ford GT. We see great racing, of course, and yeah, this class is looking pretty tight, of course. Smallest grid we have of the day, but well, they make up for that in guts and glory. The Ford GTs definitely have some great running in them. Yeah. But they've got 2 of the GT1 cars, Will, trying to get back through after that incident early on. Jürgen Frank and JJ Nylander, both of them trying to make up spots here, and it's not going as easily as they'd hope.
Yeah, meanwhile, Juan Ye Lopez there in the New York car is going to move himself actually past. Is that Trey Andrews is losing himself a couple of positions, now down into P number 6 in class. So he's down a couple of positions in the early going of this event. There we go, on board of him right now in that number 27 machine. It does look as though Connery there, he might have just made a mistake because he lost himself in positions. Maybe he just wants a little bit of clean air right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the latter, because I'm looking back and it didn't seem like anything went wrong, so he's probably biding his time. He knows this is a long race. He can probably get those guys back near the end, but those top 3 now, they're breaking away.
Yeah, and in fact, Andrew's now under pressure from Mark Usher. Usher's had a horrible start to this race, now I think about it, Conway, because he started a little bit further up to where he is right now. He's down 4 places since the drop of the green flag here.
Yeah, it's not the ideal start for him. He just needs to focus now. It's still a long way to go. He can make up those positions back easily.
Meanwhile, we've got ourselves in your GT1 division, the number 1 machine. Here is Dave Geelick, and we can see that he's currently scored as 2.6 seconds behind your class leader. Jani Tankanen runs himself in the 2nd place, Kay Katrib in 3rd. But overall, Rachel, Geelick's got himself now up into 3rd place in class. He's up 1 place in where he qualified, past Ricardo Catrolido, now just trying to hunt down the guys in front.
Yeah, past Leonardo Corti there, who had a bit of a wiggle in, coming up from the chicane, and got that position through, so he's back up there. Going after Jani Tankanen now, that should be, it's quite a distance back from him, so it'll be quite a challenge.
behind, we've got ourselves we've actually got one of these cars now working themselves past the GT2. That is the number 9 machine, who we saw the home racer car. We saw them involved in an incident at the very start of this motor race, running themselves in P number 11 in class right now. So this is not the day they want to have. They're still trying to work themselves past some of this GT2 traffic. And Rachel, this really is going to hurt them, because already he is 20 seconds behind the class leader.
Yeah, it's not what you wanted to have happen at this stage of the race, but, well, you've got 75 minutes, you've got time to make up for it. But at the same time, in this sort of strength of field, Will, it's going to be really hard for them to seriously make ground unless they are much quicker. I think once the lapping process begins, it'll be a little easier, because the other cars in their class will have to do the same. So we'll have to see what happens.
So let's have a look then up through your field a little bit. Let's actually turn our attention back to McTominay Benike, because already Connery, he's got himself a 2.5 second advantage over Mert Ursel. He's just worked himself now through Ravatsa number 2, and after this is the new pit entry then. So this is the very fast right hand kink to come on towards pit road. Otherwise you are flat out all the way down in towards turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like Maximum Beneke has pulled out about a 2.6 second gap on Matt Ursel. He's absolutely flying in this early stages of the race. He's just got to keep that going now, and he has a real chance of winning this.
Behind, you have got yourself a little train that's developing. You got yourself Marco, number 34 machine, running himself in that Club Italia machine. Juan Lopez, we talked about him already in this race. He runs himself in P number 5. Sai Andra, of course, he lost some positions already in this event. He's now down in P6 with Patrick Wolf right behind him. Rachel, this really is the 3-car battle we want to look at. P number 5, P number 6, P number 7 on track.
Certainly, and Patrick Wolf is on a charge at the moment. We're up 3 positions from qualifying in 10th. He's running 7th, looking to make that even 6th or 5th, and possibly 4th with the way this is looking. That car very, very quick in the early stages.
Yeah, as Andrews is going to go wide there, that's going to allow the opportunity for Patrick Wolf to look to the outside, down into Aqua Minerali. It's so difficult to pass through there. Now, up the little hill on the run down in towards the Variante Alta. That was a half chance there, Rachel, but Patrick Wolf wasn't able to capitalise.
No, Wolf taking the sensible option there. Not going to push too hard, nothing too crazy at this stage, but well, he's going to have Cyanders wondering who should be afraid of the big bad Wolf.
Hello.
Yeah.
So here we are, down. We've got ourselves, what, 10 minutes into a broadcast, and here we go already?
Yeah, it's RaceSpotTV. It's prime time. What's going to happen, Will? It's you and me in the booth.
Long season. Here's behind. We've got ourselves Riccardo Castrolido, Dave Geeling. As Geeling's actually lost himself a position now to Riccardo Castrolido away from our screens here, Connie. And what that means, he's now down into P number 4 as he's having to charge again. I'm just having a look at the lap times. It just seems to be raw pace, really. Lido Geeling just made a little bit of a mistake last time by, but now Lido back up into a podium position.
Yeah, Lido is making up some good places here. Yeah, as you say, it's just raw pace, really. There's nothing really Geeling could have done about that. But he has to just keep his head down now, Geeling. Just put in those laps. As
behind Geeling, you can see, is Shinya Machimi there, Japanese driver, running himself in P number 5 in class in that number 16 Radicals Online machine. Let's ride on board then. Are you radical enough? Well, this guy is. He's running himself P number 5 in class, and he's holding it then with 2 guys just ahead of him. In fact, he's scaling the Radicals car. Just ignore me for 1 second. Well, yeah, it's a new season. We've talked about that already. There we can see Manchimi. He is radical enough. We're going on board with him anyway, Rachel.
Oh, we certainly will. There's always a spin there towards the front of the pack, and round goes one of the Corvettes, and through will go the Radicals Online car there of Mashimi. That was, I believe, the number 17 car. That was Riccardo Castrolido. He's, well, that's not exactly what you want to happen. That Corvette's always tough off on the traction off the corner, Will. No damage to anybody, but close.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are unable to get a replay of that one. So we're going to try and go back then to our live coverage. We'll go back to the prototype field then, because Mark Usher is right behind Patrick Wolf right now as they head themselves in towards turn number 1, once again in towards 2, the first chicane. Let's stay on board for a couple of corners then. This is turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Turn 4 famous, of course, that Tamburello corner that claimed Ayrton Senna's life back on the 1st of May 1994. Now we come down into turn 5, turn 6, the Villeneuve chicane, named after the legendary Gilles Villeneuve. out they come, and then into Tosa, turn number 7. That's slow off camber, left-hand hairpin. After this, you speed up a little bit. You now head yourself for a right-hand kink before you come down into Piatella, turn number 8. This corner is hard. It's fast, it's slightly off camber. You can see the bumps there, the car working as a bit of slap oversteer from Mark Usher. Now you come down into turn number 9 and 10. This is the Acqua Minerale complex. You talked about this already. And once you get down to Acqua Minerale, actually, Connery, you just kind of dip at the corner of the apex. And then you go from being downhill to working yourself uphill very, very quickly.
Of course, yeah, some of the real life guys don't really get across how much elevation change there is here. There's a change of elevation in that corner, and it can really catch people out. There's also something to note where this middle part of this prototype field is going to be interesting to watch come the end, because they're very, very similar on pace. They're sticking together really well here.
Well, we're still on board then for a couple more corners with Mark Usher. We did see he lost it on the exit of Acqua Minerale, Rachel, but ahead of him, Patrick Wolf continues his what's now a four-way battle with Juan Lopez and Sayandra.
Yeah, it certainly is. As Sayandra there trying to get some spots in his prototype field. Well, he's under attack now from Wolf. We'll have to see if he... Well, of course, we saw there the Juan Lopez providing that draft, so it kind of neutralises everything, Will. Wolf can't catch Andrea with his draft because Andrea's going faster in Lopez's draft, so the whole thing equalises out. You get a bit of a train effect, and these three have been running together since the start of the race, so it's one of those situations where, well, they're being caught now from behind as well by Usher. It's tricky for these guys. They need to try and find opportunities, but it could well be in the pit cycle.
Just having a look right now in your GT2 field. The closest battle we've got, Rachel, right now is between Alexia Loma in the number 14 Glacier Racing car and Koen Klopman in the number 35 Club Benelux machine. Now, Klopman closed that gap down a couple of laps ago. It has grown again, though, at 1.1 second for the final step on your podium.
Yep, certainly has, and that's going to get quite tight at the moment, but these cars, Ford's really having to play it safe here at the moment. They're not trying to go too hard. The GT1 cars, well, they're struggling really to kind of keep themselves together. These cars, we know they've had some changes made in the back end of the season, so this is really an interesting development, seeing what this will do, especially for the Corvettes, Will.
Yeah, as we have a look now on board is Yoni Backman. He's running himself now in P number 7 in class. Not a good day for Backman, but you can see that prototype traffic is moving itself through your GT2 field for the first time today. So there is McLaren Benito. Let's go on board with him as he navigates some of this traffic for the first time. This is such a high-speed track in sector number 1 that it kind of means you've got to be very, very careful, Connery, as around the outside he will go of one of the friction racing machines.
Yeah, these Ford GTs there's a huge speed difference between them and the prototypes, and as we said at the top of the show, this is a very narrow track. You have to be really careful. These guys have to respect each other's room, respect the traffic.
So there's the gap right now from P number 1 to P number 2. It's 2.3 seconds between Maximilian Benike and Mert Özil. And what you've got to see here, Connery, is to see after they complete this first round of getting past the GT2 traffic, whether Benike can actually advance that gap. And he's now got it up to 3 seconds over Mertzel. Part of it is luck, but part of it is how well you can negotiate traffic. The gap's now up to 3.1 seconds. As Benike just gives himself a little bit of oversteer on the exit of Variante Alta. On the run down to Ravata now, there'll be a clean pass there through one of the other GT2 cars. And yes, it's luck, but also it does come down to track placement quite often. The best drivers in Prototype will win this season because of the fact they can negotiate the traffic better than others.
Yeah, better than the others and faster than the others. Beneke won't be using the traffic to his advantage here. If he's fast enough at getting past this slow traffic, he's going to have a very good chance at doing well this season.
Well, there you can see now Mert Özil will turn our attention to him, and he's going to be unlucky. He's going to get traffic right down at the first chicane. Rachel, that's going to hurt him heavily.
It certainly will, but with a 2.9 second gap he's had before hitting traffic, well, the other cars are also going to start hitting traffic. It won't be such a big deal. Gets through cleanly there on one of the Ford GTs, running a little wide through that second chicane as he comes to the hairpin now. Good clean run through the hairpin. You can get good traction up the hill. It's going pretty well for Maximilian, but we know, Will, especially from things like the Neo series, that himself and the PRT guys, they are pretty good in traffic when it comes to lapping cars.
I would say they're very, very good in traffic. What will happen is we expect to see some of these gaps start to eke out in your mid-pack as well. We're going to go back on board just one more time with Ursel because he's going to catch another car in a very poor position. This is all the way down Aquaminerali, then up the hill he comes. He's going to have to be careful. Moves himself to the right-hand side of the track. There we are. Job done. Gap 3.7 seconds. Let's go back then to your GT1 field as we go on board with Shinya Machimi as he runs himself in the number 16 machine. The gap between himself and Dave Dealing, that remains Connery at 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the prototype field will negotiate this GT1 traffic, let alone the Ford GT traffic, because these GT1s, they're much quicker than Ford GTs. I think Shinya is keeping this gap stable at the moment to Dave. He's not gaining or losing, so maybe he's looking to the pit stops to try and get in front.
Yep, as Jürgen Frank there, we can see him. Of course, he was the driver who struggled at the start of this motor race. Now 23 seconds behind your race leader, but trying to catch Riccardo Castrovillo, who of course Connery had himself his own spin a couple of laps ago, and as a consequence has lost 8 positions in this motor race.
Yeah, it's not the ideal start. He's just got to work on making that back now. I don't think he's going to be challenging for the win, but he'll just have to try and make up as many positions as he can and try and get a good finish. Well,
let's get ourselves then a look at your moves and shakers so far. We start with your prototype field, and what's worth noting, Rachel, Patrick Wolf up 5 spots now in this motor race. He's having himself a fantastic day. The biggest loser, that is Mark Usher. He had himself a horrible first couple of laps from P3 down to P number 8.
Yeah, it certainly is bad day for Mark Usher there, Will. But as we said with, of course, the car of Patrick Wolf, we made some Wolf jokes before. He's huffed, he's puffed, and he's blown the competition down. We're going to do it again because why not? Great moves from him, up 5 positions. He's in the P5 at the moment, working on going after Marco Sidono, and he's going to try and get that position away from him, and then he can work on the rest of them. But that is 3 seconds back. Other big movers in your prototype field? Well, not a huge number of big movers. We know that Mark Usher's lost a lot of spots, 5 positions down from 3rd. We've got 2 positions gained for Xavier Sanchez, and we also have spots for Mati Katsidoja, and a couple of spots lost for Bas Lob, who's really dropped back towards the end of this prototype field.
Yep, turn our attention then to your GT1 battle, and there you can see then your position changes so far. Not as much in your top 5 there, Connery, but worth noting, Rupe Tequila up 4 places. We expect that from Rupe, and in fact he is actually kind of running the same lap times with Leonardo Corti ahead of him. Mikkel Lickry is also up 4 spots on this event so far, but he's under pressure right now from the driver of Riccardo Castrovillo.
Yeah, the good job from those guys that qualified at the back of your GT1 class here. They've managed to gain some spots, and Lido, who is close to the back of Lakiri here, he's getting very, 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 very close. He's got some GT1 traffic behind. Oh, and he gets into an incident.
Yeah, hard into the wall. There's Riccardo Castrovillo. There you can see his race is gonna pretty much be done. We saw it whilst looking from the rear. There's a little tap saying, what has just happened? We'll get ourselves another look at this one if we can. We're going to ride on board of him. And as he exits turn of 8, Piratella now heading himself into Aquaminerali. Let's go look from up above. Let's slow it down for you and show you what happened. It was on the exit of this corner. Lido just got himself a little bit of a spin there, and then he got himself a tap from behind. He got himself a big, big wiggle down on the exit of Aquaminerali, Rachel. And then as a consequence of that, the car behind really had nowhere to go.
He didn't at all. It was completely instant from the car in the position behind him there. Nothing he could really do to change that one, Will, but honestly, I think we saw there Riccardo was going to be going for a spin on his own. That car was loose one way, then loose the other way. He was struggling to find balance, and, well, it was going to snap eventually. It just got helped along the way. Unfortunate for him, but this will happen in some of those cars after fast chicanes, especially the Chevrolet Corvette. Yep,
there you can see. This is in real time. And that's how you end a motor race. If you're Riccardo Castrovillo, we know this guy's fast, unfortunately. Aquaminerali, we talked about that one already, Connery. And because you go downhill, uphill, the car just kind of bottoms out there as you go through the dip of that corner, Aquaminerali. And then afterwards, you're trying to get traction on the uphill turn number 10. Sometimes it doesn't happen. This time it didn't.
Yeah, these GT1s are squirrely on throttle at the best of times, and Hurgan Frank, who was behind those two cars there, he was just in wrong position, wrong time, I think. He has some very slight damage to the front end of his car. It'll be interesting to see how that affects him during the course of this race.
Indeed so. So we've got ourselves now 20 minutes of this motor race scored complete. We talked about system changes in your first two classes. We're having a look now at your GT2 field.
Oh, car off, Will. We have a car off in your GT1 category. One of the Aston Martins, I'm going to try and work out for you who it is, because they're off to the side of the racetrack, overshooting that third chicane. And I believe that is, if I can actually select things, that is Tapani Lindenotto. He is off the track there in that Glacier TV machine. That was the third chicane, Will.
Yeah, and the reason why, he made contact with the rear of a prototype driver. So there we can see he went off in that number 4 Glacier Racing machine. Back onto track he goes, and there we are. But he's now down in P number 10 in class. Let's go back then to your GT2 field. And well, Connery, it seems that we've had a couple of people moving up. Rico Alatalo, your biggest loser so far. He is down P number 5. P5 in 5 positions in this race so far. Qualified in 5th, now running in 10th in class and out of this event.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened there, Will, with Rico Alatalo. He's shown as 7 laps down on your prototypes, but I'm not sure what happened.
As we've got a little bit of moving going on there, we can see one of the GT cars just being passed by Marco, putting him a lap down in this event so far. Marco right on the rear of Perez right now. Through Acca Minerale they come, up the hill they come. And Rachel, now we've got ourselves a nice battle for the final step on the podium.
We're certainly doing. That's going to make things really exciting here. It's tough in that class, of course, but these guys have got to make sure they remember this is only lap 13, Will. We're 24 minutes in. There's a lot of race to go.
So, on board then with Marco. Exit of Ravazza. Let's ride a couple of corners then. On board with him. This is RaceSpotTV Fan Immersion. Not able to close them though. Dirty Air isn't causing too much of a huge issue though in that class. No, Hugo, I'm directing this race. I'll do what I want to do. Thank you very much. Connery Maddock in the meanwhile, of course. We've got ourselves still this very good battle going on. Seems to be that you can remain in close proximity to the guys behind, but it's worth noting that catching is one thing, passing is another.
Exactly. As I said, the stretch is very narrow. You can't really make many passing moves. I think Marco is just content to sit behind Mark Perez here, but he is looking now and again. But so maybe I may be wrong, you know.
Yep, the gap stays at 2 tenths of a second through Variante, Alta through the Ravazza curves. And well, it seems to be that Marco is having trouble getting himself into that 3rd place as it stands right now. But we have got ourselves still a couple of battles going on in your GT1 division. Here is Dave Geeling, who turned the attention towards the front. And we see there that Geeling now in 4th. He's got himself Signia Machimi just ahead of him, Rachel. Just 3 tenths of a second separating those two drivers.
Yeah, it's really, really close here in that field. It's going to get really exciting anytime soon because that's right on top of each other, but as it stands, getting these cars into position is tricky. It is not finding enough spots to pass, Will. It's becoming a really challenging racetrack for this. Something we definitely have to look at in the Formula 1 on Saturday, of course, in the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. Passing spots, major premium. Strategy will dictate this race.
It will do. As here we can see Geeling still remaining at 4 tenths of a second behind the competition as he gets splits there. And that's what you notice immediately, Connery. Half a second loss as prototype guys come through. And if you're a GT1 driver, the last thing you can do is get frustrated because it happens to everyone.
Yeah, you just gotta keep what we say. We say you gotta keep a cool head. You know, there's no point in getting angry over fast traffic that's going through. You could do nothing about really. I think Uzl just got held up a little bit there by your GT1 traffic. He's still trying to catch Maximilian Benecke, but the gap is about 5 seconds right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that the next round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is this Saturday. And guess what? It's right here at Imola. So join some of the fastest open wheel races in the world as we have 3 days worth of open wheel racing back to back to back. IndyCar on Friday night, the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series on Saturday, and then we've got a double header, the Finnish Sim Racing Championship and Formula Renault 2.0s and Skip Barbers and IndyCars with the iAdvance Indy Elite Series. It's going to be an open wheel weekend here on RaceSpotTV. All of those races will be streaming live on iRacingLive. As we go back then, we've now got a 3-horse battle going on, Rachel. Yoni Bachmann has got a car going to go alongside him for a moment there, and that is going to be the driver of Marco Mogren. Looks like Mogren should have the inside line down into the chicane, but is not able to do anything about it. This is fantastic. No! It's going to be a little bit game of a pirouette there. Bachmann turned around, Marco Mogren turned around, and then Bachmann seems to be very, very frustrated with that one. And that was down at the Variante Alta. Replay coming on up.
Oh, big wreck there, Will. Of course, nearly 3 of the cars from Glacier involved with that one. The only car that got through there was the green Ford GT of the team behind him. I believe that was the car of Bahaka. It was Bahaka indeed. He got through that one, but Mogren, wow, just a bit of a mistake there from him. Replay coming up.
Yep, so there we can see it in super slow-mo. The number 10 machine, by the way, of Jonas Unsen-Purka. Very lucky to get himself through that one. Going to get ourselves one more look then. This is going to be on board with the driver of... we're going to ride this one on board then with Marco Mogren in that number 32 machine, because you're going to see this incident unfolding right around him, we think. We think. There we are. So riding on board then, he is alongside Yoni Bachmann at this point. He comes down into the Variante Alta. He isn't going to actually be able to get himself past. He just backs out of it. You can see there's a little bit of daylight between the two cars, a little bit of curb hopping between both those drivers, and then Bachmann slowing the exit of the corner. Mogren runs into the rear of him, and from there, it's going to be a chain reaction, and that is a big incident, Connery, down in your GT2 division.
Yeah, I think of course that's as Mogren just getting a bit too quickly on that throttle of that GT1 car. You know, these cars like to wheel spin off the corner, and Santowski just unlucky to get caught up in that. He was behind it, and it just all happened in front of him, and he couldn't avoid it.
We've also had another incident with Jonas Unsen-Purka. He was actually a beneficiary of that incident that just happened, but we're just having a look at him now, and it looks like he's going to lose it down at Aqua Minerale, spinning the rear of that car around, Rachel.
Yeah, big moment for him there. Not only wanted to have happened, that was the third of those 3 cars from the Glacier Racing TV stable. He comes in, just loses the back end, fast corner, the Ford GT's back end just hasn't quite got the grip it needed. But narrowly missed by about 5 or 6 different cars, Will. That could have been disastrous, but well, he gets to play again with his teammates.
Indeed he does. Mark Perez right now running himself in P number 4. He's lost time, Rachel, to the driver of Marco. He is now 1.1 second behind that number 34 machine.
Yeah, he certainly is, and this is getting very intense, and lap 17, 31 minutes in. It's certainly getting exciting at this stage of the race. Not what we'd expect at this point, but certainly becoming quite an exciting one. Will prototype class, a quick update on those guys. 7.6 seconds with Maximilian Benecke in the lead. That's Mert Uzel in second. Yeah, 7 seconds in 17 laps, 18 laps. That's incredible driving from these guys. Marco Accidono on 3rd place. He's 4 seconds back from 2nd place. And it's Perez, then it's Wolf, who's still climbing his field, Will.
Yeah, but behind we've got ourselves a great battle going on. Juan Lopez, Sebia Sanchez and Jan Schutter are right on board then with that driver of Jan Schutter right now in the number 11 Club Diat machine. Up the hill he comes in towards Piatella, turn number 8. And while actually the 2 guys ahead of him are really working it around some of that GT traffic as it stands right now. But Schutter has been able to catch just a little bit in that number 11 machine. On the exit of Aqua Minerale, gaps now up to 1.1 second. Cheetah losing a bit of time with the number 5 machine there. That is one of the GT cars, Leonardo Corti, who's just passed. And then Cheetah now is going to have to try and get himself back into the group. But Xavier Sanchez and Juan Lopez, that one is still mighty close, Connery.
Yeah, and they're coming up to a lot of GT traffic here. These guys have to be really careful trying to negotiate this traffic. Whoever comes out on top with negotiating traffic is probably going to come out with this one ahead.
On board with Sanchez, Lopez just ahead of him. That fast sequence of corners from turn 15 down towards turn number 1. Turn number 2, they come now. You can just see the amount of traffic ahead of him. There's 1, 2 GT cars. Then there's another prototype car. And then I can see about another 2 or 3 GT cars in the distance. Both Sanchez and Lopez will get past in towards the Villeneuve chicane. They just moved themselves past Purica, of course, had himself that incident a moment ago. And you want to see what a busy track looks like? Here is it. There you can see down at Tosa. These guys are running too wide in places, trying to get themselves around some of this traffic. And Truto actually is your biggest loser of this battle so far, because Rachel, he's really struggling under traffic right now.
Yeah, certainly is, and the traffic's a major thing here. We talked about how hard it is to pass in your own class, but coupled with that, Will, that we're now in the passing zone, we're seeing cars having to actually work around traffic. And, well, some of the 4 GTs are having to push even harder to stay out of the way of the prototypes when they're being caught so quickly. So this is really making it a very different race from what we've seen. And, well, for the first broadcasted race we've had here at Imola and RaceSpot Primetime, it's certainly showing this is going to be a very technical race.
Indeed so. So here we are then. Let's get a look at your top 3 on each class on the left-hand side of the screen. Benike still leads by 8.3 seconds over Mert Ursel. He's just gaining that gap up lap after lap after lap after lap after lap. Marco runs himself in third. Kei Koshube hasn't got himself a 50-second advantage. That is just our timing and scoring, having some fun with us. The gap is currently 2.2 seconds, as you can see up on your screen. It's worth noting that Shinya Mancini is currently scored as about 20 seconds, we think, behind P number 2, Yoni Tankanen, 17.9 seconds behind Yoni Tankanen. And then you've got yourselves Vendemo leading in your GT2 division, Stefan Sika in second, and Alexi Luma running himself in P number 3. Getting ourselves close to halfway then here on RaceSpotTV. We're going to step aside, take ourselves a quick commercial break before we head ourselves through pit stops here at Imola. We're going to take you, RaceSpotTV side by side. We'll be right back.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to RaceSpotTV, and look at the pretty birdie! Look at the pretty birdie! This is Cohen Kloppenman there in the number 35 team afterburner machine, and from one afterburner to an afterburn, don't forget, we've got ourselves on Friday night the second part of our now treble header RaceSpotTV primetime broadcast, and it will be the Verizon IndyCar Series. Yep, RaceSpotTV was the first sim racing broadcaster to officially host an IndyCar sanctioned league. That was the 16th Street Racing League, and that of course was just about 8 months ago. But now we've got the Verizon IndyCar Series sim racing style. It's live on RaceSpotTV. It's streaming live on iRacingLive, so join Paul, Rachel and the gang for that one this Friday night. And hey, the word afterburn doesn't work well in IndyCar circles. I can tell you that one for fact. We've got Bas Lob then. He is on pit road, so pit stops are underway, Rachel.
It certainly are. Bas Lob there in for his stop. Coming in at the start of the pit cycle, really, for Bas Lob. He wants to try and get the undercut here. He is taking tyres and fuel at the moment together, which is the only car in the series that does that. All the other cars will be taking, fuel then tyres, which means in your GT classes, with this only been an hour and 15, expect no tyres on your GT pit stops. So, the prototypes, yeah. He's coming in early. He wants to try and make an undercut here, try and make the jump on some cars in his class. Still on the lead lap, but a long way back from your leaders. Possibly going to be lapped in about 5-6 seconds time from his current position, so he needs everything he can try and get.
Yeah, we've still got this battle going on between Patrick Wolf and Mark Perez. And if your name is Kevin something whatever on YouTube, just for you, there we are. That's all you're getting.
And we just got
Jan
pulled off
Twitter, though, is side by side right now with Xavier Sanchez as they head themselves down in towards turn of 1. You got Xavier Sanchez there and John Twitter. They go side by side, but well, Twitter will have to there not get the position. This is a nice little battle going on, Connery, between these two drivers, though.
Yeah, while we were away, I've been watching Jan Vitter just catch up to the back of Sanchez. He's been very, very, very close a few times, and as we saw, we went side by side down the home straight. I think Vitter had to back out because there was GT traffic coming out of the pit lane and didn't want to take that unnecessary risk.
Oh, those GT drivers coming here to our racetracks, taking our racetrack away from us. We've got another driver on pit road. That one is Matti Kadrusa there in the number 36 Club Finland machine. Out of the way. Pit stop time for him as you have a look there at a lovely, lovely, lovely barrier. Was 21.6 seconds. He comes back out onto track. Let's go back there to Leonardo Corti. He's scrapping it out right now, Connery, with Shinya Mancini. These two people have been scrapping it out pretty much all race long. On a commercial breaks, Mancini stays in third place. Leonardo Corti runs himself in P number 4.
Yeah, these guys seem very, very similar on pace. Leonardo Corti perhaps a little bit braver on the brakes. He's closing up during the braking zones. Maybe he can form that into a move somewhere on the track down the inside.
Well, we're staying on board for a couple of moments then with Leonardo Corti. We'll give you some RaceSpotTV fan immersion as pit stops are closing up for these guys. And here comes Corti on towards pit road then in that Club DX machine. We do like the fact that you're all wondering. Well, it's like we're playing Sheldon Cooper's Fun with Flags here today, Rachel. It is a Scandinavian flag that we show there for Scandinavian drivers. Mainly because of the fact that we haven't yet got the ability to show different ones for Sweden, Norway, etc., Denmark, etc., etc.
Absolutely, we show the club flag, of course, which definitely irritates the Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish in Club UK and Ireland. It also irritates the Norwegians, the Icelandic, Danish, and Swedish, Norwegian, yeah, of course. Remember, Finland is not in Scandinavia. It forms Finno-Scandinavia in that group, so that's our fun with flags moment here on RaceSpotTV. But just a thought, Will, I've been thinking whilst we went in our fan immersion just a moment ago, but this track seems to have developed something new. But its difficulty to pass, I'm going to coin a new phrase here on RaceSpotTV Primetime, and that is Schrodinger's lap traffic. Both jumping out of the way too quickly and getting in your way all at the same time. You're never sure what. It's tricky. There's never a place to get through. When you think you're getting through, you're right at another corner when they're in the way. So this, I think, can have a major impact in longer races.
What they always say though, Rachel, if you're a lap down car, be it a 75-minute race or a 24-hour race, be consistent. That is all you want to do if you're a prototype driver. Have the traffic be consistent. As we've got Ertzel, he's also just made himself a pit stop, 36.1 seconds. So let's turn our attention then to Alexia Loma. Sven Demel's on pit road as well. From the race lead in your GT2 division, talk us through it, Rach.
Yes, it's coming in now as well, just in front there of Alexia Loma. No problems yet for either of them. Watching for them to go up on the air jacks. We don't expect they will do. Expecting this to be a no tyre stop, fuel only for these GT2 cars, depending on how hard they are on their tyres, of course. Both of them taking a long time to fuel up, and as away he goes. Sven Demi out on his run, as will be Alexia Loma. Both of them getting good, clean stops, and Demi actually out quicker than Aloma.
Yeah, Keiko Shube is out of pit road as well. He's made himself a pit stop, 34.0 seconds. Dave Geeling's on pit road right now, Connery.
Yeah, they're all coming in now. This is the time to pit for many of them. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes the field up. Some people are staying out. Some people pit early, so we'll have to see how this works out for all of them.
Yeah, oh, it's going to be a long pit stop for Signor Mancini. That's going to be his podium position thrown out the window there, Connery.
Yeah, he just took a bit too long in the pit stop. I don't know if he had any damage or anything that caused that,
Speeding
but
penalty?
yeah, could be a speeding penalty, which would be, you just want to, as a driver, you just want to kick yourself because of that. You know, it's a relatively easy thing to, you know, keep under the speed limit, but sometimes you just can't help it.
You know what? He's gotten out of the car. It looks like it's race over for Mancini. So Dave Geeling then runs himself in P number 5. But this will really help this guy, Leonardo Corti, in the number 5 machine, because we saw him, Rachel, scrapping it out with Mancini. But now that number 5 car looks as though he may well get himself a podium.
He certainly looks like he could be in that sort of position there. It's been a big shift up actually at this stage, as we're seeing what's happening with these guys. So these pit stops, they always make a huge difference, and little bits of damage here and there that can cost you later in the race.
Let's go on board then with the driver of Patrick Wolf. We expect him on pit road. He is coming on towards pit road right now. Let's get that little speed graphic up for you. Down to 37 miles an hour. And now 37 miles an hour, you know, it's fast. The speed limits, which are much slower than that. But at the same time, Rachel, after running around here at speeds of 150, 160 miles an hour, this feels pedestrian.
It certainly does, and we've had an issue there with Shinya Mashimi. I believe he's had some sort of issue. That car's had a mechanical failure. They are retiring in their pit stop.
Yep, but Patrick Wolf right now, he's getting himself a pit stop time. He's working himself there in 20-ish seconds. We expect somewhere around 21. 19.2 seconds. Great pit stop for Patrick Wolf. That's really going to help him. Let's have a look from the rear. Let's see where he comes out around his competition, because Frank Stumfeth is also on pit road. As it stands, we are looking for Mark Perez in the number 8 machine. The gas goes on. Patrick Wolf in P number 2 as it stands right now. Fantastic, Connery.
Yeah, that was a great stop and great strategy from Patrick Wolf here. He just come out a couple of seconds ahead of Mark Perez there. What a move.
Yeah, so pitting a little bit later, and then also having a sort of a shorter pit stop has worked wonders for Patrick Wolf. Now, we're looking at Frank Stumfeth. This is a longer pit stop there, 22.8 seconds. He now comes out and away. Rachel, we're looking to see. It looks like he's going to get passed by, say, Andra. It looks like he will fall out in P number 10 in class.
Yeah, he certainly will, and that's not what he wanted to have happen, of course. Running so much higher up earlier in this race. Great position for him, and as you just saw there, going to that first chicane. Let's take a look at the exit of that second part of the chicane, Will, and as we run towards the second chicane there. Look again at the exit of the second part. Look at all the dust being kicked onto the track there from cars running just across past the curbing onto the grass. That's a new feature here in iRacing, of course, to be able to drag dust and dirt onto the racetrack, onto the racing line. Which means, imagine this track 10, 12 hours from now, Will. Imagine how much dust and dirt will be on the exit that corner. And these tyres will pick it up now. This could be a major race issue, which is going to be awesome to see it evolve.
Indeed, so. And let's not forget Tamburello, that first chicane. It's one of the few corners, really, where you still have a huge gravel trap around it. You can see it also on the exit of turn number 8 here. This is an old school track, Rachel, you know, still with a lot of gravel traps. It's not like certain newer Tilcadromes. Circuit of the Americas is the first one that comes to mind, where you just got those asphalt runoff areas.
Certainly, and I don't think any of the tracks like Paul Ricard or the car park in the Americas has the same vibe as somewhere like Imola. This place has history. You can see the old red brick Italian buildings around it. You see the trees by the track, grass, and yes, there are safety features, there's runoff, and there's features to make this a better track for racing on and safer. But it keeps its character, it keeps its originality. It's got lots of natural elevation changes. It's a track that's evolved, and that, to me, means so much more in racing. The flow is better when a track has evolved. You're not trying to manufacture racing.
Alexia Loma right now scrapping it out with Con Klopman. Look at the pretty birdie. And the battle for the last step on the podium right now, Conway. Aloma seems to have found himself a new gear in this race.
Yeah, he's really flying right now. They have some GT1 traffic trying to come through, but I don't think it's going to be make it easy for him. But the traffic just goes through the outside there, perhaps on the inside into the chicane. Ooh, he just doesn't get past Klopman there. He's going to slow down again. That's not ideal for Corti.
Yeah, as a consequence, this is going to now allow Alexia Loma the opportunity as they head themselves down through the final corner. Slipstream engage for Alexia Loma, but can he do anything in towards that first chicane? The answer is going to be he's going to peek himself to the left-hand side in towards turn number 2. Alexia Loma up a position, Connery.
Yeah, it looks like Klopman just backed out of that. You big wee before you usually would for that corner, and he's alongside again, going down the inside. He might have the position back here, Will.
Yeah, this is going to be close then. We've got two big battles going on all at the same time. We've got a battle between Keiko Shube and Joni Tankanen. We need to show you as well as Alexia Loma does lose that position, but this is Tankanen versus Keiko Shube, and this is fantastic, Rachel.
Yeah, Keiko Shube, a definite dogfighter here in the racing series, and wow, we've got GT1 cars versus GT1 cars. And Tankanen hold him off here, running to the second chicane. It's Aston Martin versus Corvette. You know, the Corvette's really great at the slow corners, Will. The Aston Martin much better at carrying speed, and there's a lot more slow corners here at Imola than there are fast, and we could see Keiko Shube, oh, he's having to defend. I had those backwards, actually, do excuse me. Yeah, I completely got those positions backwards. I'm an idiot.
That's okay. We're just trying to show you a replay then of what happened with Keiko Shube, and he does get himself a little bit loose there, and we're just going to have a look then. Unfortunately, we can't put up the full replay for you, but Joni Tankanen has dropped back once again as they exit the final couple of corners. Stefano Laniotto right now is working himself in a close battle with the driver of JJ Nylander as it stands. This is going to be for P number 7 in class. Hey, I will say one thing, Connery. I think we've just won it once again with RaceSpotTV Primetime. Kia's last season was fantastic. This season, ProtoGT, brought to you by Leo Bodnar, is fantastic also.
Yeah, this is great racing here on this historic track. Multi-class racing at its best, I think. You have to deal with traffic, you have to deal with each other. It's, you know, a brilliant race so far.
So here we are then. Alexia Loma, Con Klopman once again as they work themselves. This is through somewhere. I know where we are. Honest.
It's a corner on a race
No,
car
it was
track,
turn number 2.
track.
This is heading himself into the Villeneuve chicane. This is Villeneuve chicane, the second chicane here. Now heading himself down into Tosa. This is turn number 7 on track. Alexia Loma are going to go on board of him. Going to stay on board of him for the rest of the lap, then, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. This is the Ford GT at full pelt. Down to the inside. And he's through. I think that one deserves a second look there, Conway. That was fantastic there with the traffic.
Yeah, that was a great move by Iloma. I think Klopman just got a little bit of the back end out coming out of Rivaza, and that is your final turn here at Imola. Just not able to carry the momentum down the pit straight and ended up giving the position to Iloma.
There we are, one more look at that one there. As GT1 traffic works itself past GT2, and Klopman just moves himself a little bit wide there, down into about to 1, and that allows the driver of Alexi Iloma to move himself through. And Loma now up into P number 3 in class. Fantastic racing going on up and down your field right now. There is Mert Ursel versus Mark Perez there. Iberia versus Diaz. And these are two drivers we'll probably expect to see in the World Cup of iRacing, scrapping it out towards the end of the year. But Mert Ursel right now, just 4 tenths of a second behind Perez, but big wiggle on the exit of the Variante Outer, Rachel.
Yeah, that's a really tricky corner to get the exit right, Will. These guys need to make sure they are keeping that power low as the car straightens out and then putting it down as quickly as they can, but any angle there, the car's going to really get squirrely.
Here we are then. Mert Ursel, 2 tenths of a second. Slipstream engaged. Will he be able to do anything? There you can see the speed chart. It's down to 1/10 of a second. It's down to, let's go side by side in the battle for the second position on track. And it looks as though that Mert Ursel will move himself up 1 position on track. He's now up into P number 3, Rach.
Yeah, he certainly is. Ursel doing a great job with that pass. Right in the right place to make the move, and he gets it completed without much fuss. And he's going to have to try and get this lap traffic between himself and his victim there, Perez. He gets a good, simple move through there, but Perez goes through as well, so this is not done with yet, Will.
It's not. It's still going on. As there we can see, the gap is about 5 tenths of a second. This is one of the best scraps we've got going on your track right now. Ticker running along the top of your screen. Here you can see the class leaders in each of the classes. McLaren Beneke leading it in your prototype division. In GT1 it's Kikuchupi, and then you've got yourself Sven Demel running himself in GT2. Well, retirees in this event so far, we've got Simo Mancini, of course. He had himself that issue down on pit road. Wasn't able to get out of pit road. He had himself an issue. His day was done. No fault of his own. Marco Mogren, we talked about him out of the event. Ricardo Castrolido, we saw him having a huge spin earlier on. And then Ricky Alatulu, who's going to be classified in 37th and last place in this event. But does look as though Mert Ursel now has been able to pull away 1.3 seconds over Mark Perez. Connery.
Yeah, I think Ursel's thinking now, next target, Patrick Wolf. He's already pulled a second or so gap on Perez. He's absolutely flying right now.
Yep. As you can see that, the gaps continues to build for some of these drivers. Just having a look then. Let's go back to your... Let's stay in prototype. Let's go down to P number 11. This is the closest battle we've got going on right now, Rach. And this is Baslov versus Matti Kedruza.
It certainly is there, and Baslov had tried that strategy to try and get himself some spots, and he has. He's come up 3 positions from where he was running. Now he's running there with Soja, and he's going to be trying harder now if he wants to get ahead of him. There's lap traffic up ahead, quite a lot of it, so it's going to be a tricky position for Baslov to try and get any sort of moves done. He's going to have to be really patient here when he navigates his traffic as he tries to get to the inside there of the GT1 car. That is one of the Glacier Racing machines up ahead of him. He has one of the, well, it's a Glacier sandwich here. All these cars are Glacier Racing. So Baslov going to have to be very patient. The GT2 car getting out of the way of everybody there as the Glacier sandwich opens up with Baslov, and he will slot that car through, and away he will go. Yep, clearly through a very patient technical way to get past lap traffic. Well,
indeed so. So just having a look then, we have got a battle going on right now. Yoni Backman is closing and has passed Stefan Overgaard. That was quick. That was simple. Oh, okay.
So you have Baslov has just gone wide and let Kadizuja field through.
We'll get ourselves a replay of that one. I think we should. There we are. Talk us through it, Connery.
Yeah, Baslov just carries a bit too much speed into these corners here, gets out onto the runoff and eventually into the gravel. That's not going to do his tyres any good, and he's bringing the gravel back onto the track, which is a new feature here on iRacing. The gravel can get onto the track and may really ruin some other drivers' day.
Yep, there you can see there, Baslov doing a bit of off-roading. Of course, dirt is confirmed here on iRacing, but not in that manner. Baslov, however, is now down in your field. Well, we haven't yet done a full onboard lap with anyone here today, right, Conway? Just having a look to see who's the best driver to have a look at it. We're actually having a look now on board with Zendemel in the GT2 4GT. He's heading himself up the hill in towards a corner. This is Piratella. So we'll do it a lap on board with someone very soon. But overall, this has been some fantastic racing. As we're going to go on board with Maximilian Benike in your prototype field. Talk us through a lap here, Conway. Go!
I think Conway might have died.
I'll do it then. Here we are, into the first chicane. This is basically the old Tamburello corner. Speed chart up for you then. 130 miles an hour on the exit of the corner. Now heading yourself down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. It's a left-hand flick. It's a very fast chicane here. As then you exit the corner, turn number 6 before you come down into Tosa. Turn number 7, the slowest corner on the track. Down to 55 miles an hour. Through the apex of the corner, you build it up. Now you flip that car to the right-hand side. See the uphill elevation change as you come down in towards Piratella. You do that, then you're going to work yourself down the hill once again. Now, you're running yourself towards Acqua Minerale. Turn number 9, turn number 10. I have to say, I waited so long as we had to say Acqua Minerale in a commentary booth. But now, on the exit of Acqua Minerale, down in towards the Variante Alta. This is a very difficult, tricky chicane, but it's fast. You take it at about 60 miles an hour. You can see Maximilian Benike there. Just taking a little bit too much of that curb. It's one of the few places where you don't want to take curb, because normally here at Imola, you got low curbs, and that means you can abuse them. Jenson Button, his first year running here in 2000, he struggled to understand this racetrack because of the low curbs. Rivata 1, Rivata 2, turn 14, turn 15. Now you're flat out all the way towards the start finish line, and here we are. That is a lap on board with Maximilian Benike, Rachel.
It certainly was, and Maximilian Benike there. The great run at the moment. He's 21 seconds clear Patrick Wolf in second position in the racetrack. Wolf actually catching a lot of lap traffic now. He's behind the GT1 cars at the moment. Going to be making that move past the leaders. That is Akei Kashube in your GT1 class, Will.
Indeed so, as Patrick Wolf actually, he was just 4 times the second Connery behind Mert Ertl, but he lost a second almost there in lap traffic the last time by.
Yeah, this just goes to show how important lapped traffic is in these multi-car races. They can really benefit you, they can completely ruin your race as well, and Patrick Wolf, yeah, he was just lost too much time in the traffic there.
So, Patrick Wolf running himself in 3rd place right now in your prototype division. We haven't really got any battles going on in GT1 or GT2 worth talking about for the time being. So we're going to keep it with this. I was going to say we're going to keep it with this battle, but if Wolf's going to fall behind, we're going to go to Sean Fuitler there with Juan Lopez. This one is a bit more exciting right now, Rach.
Yeah, it certainly is. Jan Suita there, running in the 8th position in the racetrack. He's trying to catch Juan Lopez in the 7th position. That's number 26 car of Lopez there. That Skull Bandit prototype, which is something I never thought I'd see a combination of. Catching up behind one of the GT2 cars could be a good opportunity for the Petrobras machine of Schwitter to try and make a move, but getting out of the way very easily. No big moves there. Everything very calm and collected, but a compromised entry there for Schwitter. He'll have to see what he can do there to try and catch up again. He had to run tight inside that Ford GT2, catching him at an inopportune time. Bring down now, downhill, uphill. This set of corners will really tries to upset the car. These guys very quickly through there, no major problems at all. Running down to the 3rd chicane, here we go. Those cars through, no big issues at all. Big curb clutter there for Schwitter as he will get across there and actually makes a big gain. Very brave curb use for Jan Schwitter, catching the back of Juan E. Lopez well.
Yeah, the gap is now down to 3 tenths of a second once again. Can he stay behind? Oh, look at that! He tries to move down into a Vata 1. That cost him half of a second there. And while Shita now just has to regroup and do what he needs to do. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Saturday, it is World Championship Grand Prix Series Day here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacingLive, and it was going to be here at Imola. Martin Kroenke has survived the month of May. He's there with Gregor Hutu, but now June is Hutuville, and generally this is where Hutu is better than anyone else. If Kroenke can survive until well then, ladies and gentlemen, what we just learned is never ever write off Gregor Hutu, because Gregor Hutu will come down and personally cut your internet connection off. But welcome back here to RaceSpotTV, streaming live here on iRacingLive. We are back here at Imola. We are in the closing stages of this event, and well, Connery, 7 minutes to go, and nothing's really changed.
No, nothing's really changed. We've still got Jan Svitter just trying to catch Juani Lopez. He's getting close, but I'm not sure whether he can make it before the end of the race. Well,
it's going to be very close between those two drivers. And Rachel, it is worth noting, of course, these drivers aren't just racing for glory here. They're racing for points in an overall championship here. So these guys in the prototype GT1, GT2 divisions are each running in a championship to really stake their claim as being one of the best in iRacing.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's a full season long event, of course, Will, so 12 rounds will matter in this one, so tune in every Wednesday to catch this same guys hopefully racing for that title in this top split event. And it's certainly heading out to be an interesting one. It's going to be exciting. This is, I think, like a mini version of the Neo series. We've got the GT1, the GT2, we've got the HPD prototype, so if you enjoy your good bit of multi-class racing action, this is certainly where to find it, as you'll be seeing some of the best in the game. In fact, some of the drivers from things like the Neo Endurance Series and Masters of Endurance here, running in the cars they run best, the best of their abilities. Speaking of that, Maximilian Bendeke leading the prototype class, flawless today, Will.
Absolutely flawless. 21.3 seconds, Connery, the gap between him and P number 2.
yeah, that is a massive gap for what's basically a sprint race in endurance terms. Usually your longer endurance races are 6 hours, 12 hours, but he's just done very, very well here. He has not put a foot wrong. He's negotiated traffic really, really well, and this win will be well deserved, but there's still about 3 minutes left.
Six minutes left. It's not quite the 2 minute warning, but Rachel, our lap time here is 1 minute 34, so we're looking realistically. It's going to be close actually, because we're looking potentially at about 4 laps to go.
Yeah, we certainly are. So it's going to be a very tight end to this race, but not sure how many we'll get at this stage. 4 laps could be a bit of a stretch, possibly 3. Depends on whether Maximilian will actually slow down, as he has a 20-second lead. So he comes across the line before it ticks over, and he gets to run 1 less lap. So we'll have to see.
Yep, so here we are then, having a look down in your GT division, and oh, a second pit stop there, Conway, for Kopman. His splash and dash, he didn't get enough fuel.
Yeah, he just, that must be so frustrating for him. Not putting enough fuel at the first stop, that is just tragic for him.
Well, he's out of pit road, and Rachel, that is going to really hurt. He's now going to go down to P number 6 in class.
Yeah, that's terrible for him. Really not what he needed to have happen there. It was a great race to that stage as well, so really unfortunate there.
Out he comes then in P number 6 in class. Let's turn our attention back up for your field. Let's have a look at Jan Sweetog right now, because he's hunting down Juan Lopez, and this is a driver who early on in this event, Rachel, was strong.
Yeah, he really was, and he's been fighting hard with Jan Schwitter all race long. In fact, they're next to each other. So is Xavier Sanchez ahead of them. This could be a 3-way fight developing for the end of this race. These guys are getting very close together. Certainly a great race.
So then, the gap between P number 7, P number 8, 0.4 of a second, the closest battle you have on track. 4 minutes of racing here to go. And if you're a cheater, you've got to move yourself quickly here, Connery, because time, as Muse would say, is running out.
Yeah, Sanchez just went wide there, and he just gives the positions to Juan Lopez and Jan Schwitter. I'm going to try and find exactly what happened there. Yeah, Sanchez.
We lost 2 positions there in the space of 1 corner. Replay is going to, well, we're going to hope will come up, but I think because of the fact we just disconnected, let's try and have another look if we can. We'll try.
Yeah, it's first part of Rivazzi. He just does not make the exit of the corner. He overcooks it a bit too much going in and goes off into the grass and into the gravel.
Yep, and you don't want to go into the gravel because the gravel is slow, okay? But Sanchez now down into P number 8. So now, Shooter can actually end up with P number 6 in this event here, but traffic's just playing its hand a little bit here, Connery.
Yeah, this late stage of the race is going to be exciting here between Schwitter and Lopez. Who's going to come up on top? Schwitter, it's going to be difficult. It's quite difficult to pass here, but Juan Lopez, he's just ran his race very, very well so far, so this is going to be a fight down to the wire.
Meanwhile, on board is Stefan Overgaard. He's close towards the rear of Yoni Backman in that Club Scandinavia car. And yes, that is a Scandinavian flag we're looking at right now. Last time by, 1:45.9 for both of these drivers. Backman trying to hold on to P number 4 in class. Stefan Overgaard right behind him, Rachel.
Yeah, he certainly is. Overgaard catching right up, and it's actually a Danish flag, Will, just before we go down that route, but Norwegian. I'm confused. But anyway,
I said
point
Scandinavian
is,
flag.
Not on the side of his car, it's not.
No. on the overlay.
On the overlay, sure, it's Scandinavian on the overlay, but it's Norwegian on his car. But anyway, he's catching up at the moment, and Backman right ahead of him there, so we could definitely see a definite attempt to pass coming here from him as he lets some traffic through. This could actually benefit him because the prototype's going to really catch Yoni Backman there. Ooh, Backman holding the prototype up through the chicane. There's contact there between Overgaard and the prototype car. That was different.
Yep, as we can see, the gap now is up to 0.5 of a second. I want to turn my attention immediately to Maximilian Benike then, as he runs himself now through the final corner. 1:37 to go at the line there. If you're Benike, do you just slow down this final lap, Connery?
Well, it depends if he wants to do the extra lap or not, if he has the fuel. But yeah, he can slow down, but it's less work for him.
Remember Mick Hackler in 2000 at Spain?
Ooh, yeah, you remind me of that now. Maybe not.
There's been times over the years when people have run out of fuel towards the end of the race. Of course, Alexander Rossi had enough fuel to do the final lap of the Indy 500 and nothing else. He couldn't do the victory donuts because he had no fuel. Literally simple as that. But Benike right now works himself 1 minute remaining on the play clock as he heads himself down towards the Acque Minerale sequence of corners for the final time in this motor race. Here he comes then. We're going to ride on board of him for a couple of corners. Out of Acque Minerale. Up the hill. Rachel. Great race by Maximilian Benike. I don't think he slowed down.
No, he's not slowed down at all. The lap times coming in from him are spectacular. Looking at his lap chart across the race duration, he's actually not slowed down too much. Of course, he was slightly faster for the first 6 or 7 laps of a run, but after about lap 8, Will, this is the pace he's had all stint long. Incredible pace from him, and well, he's coming to the second last corner now. This will be the final second to last lap, so white flag should be coming out this time by.
Yep, so he's going to cross the start-finish line with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 seconds to go. Oh, the white flag is out. That will really hurt some of these GT drivers. Connor, we've already seen Copperman on towards pit road for the splash and dash. I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 drivers running out of fuel on their final lap of this motor race.
Yeah, I've had a look back at some of the previous sessions, and they've only run like 46 or 47 laps, and we're going to be ending up running 48 here. So I'm wondering if these guys have enough fuel and if they'll be able to make it to the end.
Yep, always, Rachel, take the extra lap of fuel. It is so important.
We're having what's happening actually. We're just, yeah, it's certainly being an interesting race so far. Nobody out of fuel yet that we can tell, but it's starting to look like they might sputter soon, as drivers are in fact slowing down quite considerably. Big saving from Xavier Sanchez. He is saving a huge amount of fuel, Will. He's not even passing a GT2 car. He is literally having to save that much to make it to the end here. And he will, we believe, just...
He's into
the pits. He's into pit road.
Oh!
As is another car ahead of him. That's another prototype. That's Jan Lopez. Jan shooting through there into P6 as Lopez and Sanchez both have to pit.
There are times when a second on pit road can make yourselves 2 positions on the racetrack. Yes, you may lose something, but also you may gain something. Here you can see Sanchez then. This is going to be splash and dash, out and away, 3.8 seconds. Lopez, he's out and away in 3.4 seconds, but importantly for both of them, they have lost a ton of time here today. That means they're going to be down in your field. Now, Kloppen made himself a pit stop in GT2. We're going to keep an eye out to see whether anyone else in that field is going to lose time. Well, Stefan Overgaard is going slowly right now. He's going very slowly, and that means that Kloppman might be able to catch him. But we want to turn our attention then back to Maximilian Benike right now. He's leading this motor race. He has been fantastic all day long through Acque Minerale then for the final time in this motor race, Connery.
Yeah, as I said before, he has not put a foot wrong. He finished some 20 seconds ahead of his composition in Met-Uzel. Amazing drive there by Maximilian Benike.
So, Maximilian Benike then looks as though he is going to get himself victory in the first round of the Leo Bonda ProtoGT Series here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacingLive. He will take himself the checkered flag. He will win here today at the fantastic Imola. 42 seconds. He's got himself the advantage.
Well, it's all slow.
It's all done. They're all slowing down now. They've taken themselves a checkered flag. Benike will win. Urzel in second. Our timing and scoring didn't work out perfectly for us here today, but we do know some drivers did struggle. Keiko Shube will win in GT1 then. He's had himself a dominant day, and there you can see then some of the other guys just working themselves now back towards pit road. But for Benike, what a day he's had here, Connery. A fantastic drive by him.
Yeah, I don't think he could have asked for a better day, really. Everyone behind him was running out of fuel in the end. Well, some of the people behind him were running out of fuel. He pulled a 21-second gap on Urzel there. if I were him, I would be grinning from ear to ear.
Yep.
Speaking of that, though, Will, Sven Demi now going to be coming through to complete his final lap as well, up to the final chicane here. This is how far back the GT2 cars are. Sven Demi also pretty flawless race.
Indeed, so there are your results then up on your screen as we talk about them right now. There's your top 10 in your prototype division, and now your top 10 in your GT division. They weren't a lap behind. It's our timing and scoring. We do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Kei Kashibe, though, wins in GT1. You can see those results. Keep them up for a moment up on your screen. And there you can see Zendemo is going to win in GT2. He crosses the line right about now. There's your GT2 results. Demo will win then. Zvidka in second. Aloma,
he's out.
and Overguard as they head themselves past the start-finish line. But he will get
Demi's
himself
out.
past the start-finish line. Sven Demo will win the race.
He's not across. Oh, he is now.
Oh, he was just teasing us there, Will.
We thought Sven Demi would run out of fuel there, Will. He crawls up to the line and just does donuts across it. That's, wow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for. There's results up on your screen. Don't forget, Friday night IndyCars coming up your way on Friday night. Then we've got ourselves Sunday full of open world racing. We've got ourselves Formula Renaults. We've got ourselves the 2K World Cup. We've also got ourselves the fantastic iAdvance IndyCar Elite Series as well. All of them here on RaceSpotTV. From myself, Will Vincent, from Rachel Wyford, from Conor Romatic. We'll talk to you all next time. Bye!